Bienvenidos and welcome back to Puro Pinche Gol, the place where we discuss all things USMNT y la selección mexicana. My name is Adrian. I'm joined once again by my co-host and Tocayo Adrian. Adrian, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, dude? It's always nice to be here late night for an episode, but I think it's going to be worth it. We saw some good things, some bad things on this somewhat boring game from the US, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, Adrian, obviously, we're doing a new segment here for all the fans here that are watching us and listening to us. This is a new segment we'll be doing after every USA and every three match. 6 things we learned, where we'll be highlighting 6 takeaways, either positive, negative, neutral from the match. And we'll be kind of giving our thoughts on the match. So let's get right into it. It was, like you said, kind of a boring game, first game of the year 2023 for the USMNT, and it was not their A team, to say the least. It's probably comprised of B and C team squad members.
Definitely.
So this match ended up 2-1 loss for the USA under the interim head coach, 2-1 loss to Serbia. And let's start with a positive, man. A positive that I took from the match was Gagas Lolina, the goalkeeper, the new Chelsea goalkeeper, only 18 years old. He wasn't really tested in the second half, and I don't think the goals are really his fault. The first goal, the defense, the wall opened up. It was what's his name, Walker Zimmerman, and I think it was who was the other guy, Neil, that kind of just opened up in the wall and let the ball just go directly to the one place that Slonina couldn't really cover. The second goal, I mean, the defensive disaster that from Neil that just gives it away, and just ultimately he can't really do much. But other than that, man, I don't think he was tested much, and the shots that did go towards him and were on goal, he did really well to block them, stay strong. And there was one shot where he blocked it, and then it looked like it was going to bounce in, and then he, maintained his composure and was able to push it out. What did you think of Slonina on his debut for the U.S. team?
No, yeah, definitely. I'm on the same page with you. I think he did more than a decent job for this game. I think, I don't know if to say fortunately or unfortunately for him, this was a very not so challenging
Right.
game for him. He, as you said, he had a couple of good saves. That one he, I guess he dived for the ball, blocked it, and then the ball went up. He went to get for it again, and then he got hit by a Serbian player. So that was a good
Right.
stop. I think I think this is a good first game for him. I think it also shows that the U.S. goalie position or goalkeeper position, it's going to be contested for the next World Cup cycle. So
Yeah.
I'm glad to see new faces. I'm glad to see him out there. Now the question will be not so much of if he's gonna get called up again. It's more of a situation. He's very young. He's only 18. I think he has only played maybe once with Chelsea. So the question now is gonna be whether or not you want to be calling him as a third string keeper, even though that he probably won't get that much game time with Chelsea. But
Yeah.
I think this is a good problem for the U.S. team.
Yeah, for sure. And I think eventually he'll be maybe next season Chelsea's number 3, and then eventually Chelsea's 2. I think in the long term he'll become, if he continues his development, he's in there to replace Kepa and Mendy, who are aging. But definitely he's going to be moving forward with the US, and I think he'll be. I think already after what I saw today, he's probably their third string behind Matt Turner and maybe Horvath or Stefan there, and then him. I mean,
Yeah.
he
hmm
did decent.
Hey,
But
he
yeah,
got some good reflexes too, man. And he's a
yeah.
good size, good height for sure.
And I like how he, even the shots that were, there was a couple that were blasted like really strong straight to him. He holds his ground,
hmm
stays firm,
Yeah.
and is able to push them out of harm's way. So yeah, pretty solid performance from him. He gets a green check mark here in the first episode of 6 Things We Learned.
Agreed.
For a neutral performance, Jogo, how you were calling him, how the commentator were calling him, Jonathan Gomez, a player who's able to play for both the U.S. and Mexico still, hasn't really formally decided, but he started off a little shaky, I felt. Gave away the ball in the first 5 minutes a couple times, but he ultimately settled in, and I think he did decent. We're not giving him a green check mark because I don't think he did extremely well. We're not giving him red check mark
Yeah.
because he didn't play like crap. We just giving him a neutral equal sign here. He was pretty decent in the attacking third. He couldn't find, unfortunately, that final product, the cross into the net or into the back into
Mhm.
the box. But he showed a lot of speed, a lot of composure. One of the things that kind of hold him back for me, at least in this performance, from being a green check mark here, is that he would leave a lot of space in the back. When he would go up, he would leave that
Mm,
whole hueco, that whole just area back there uncovered, and made
yeah.
it difficult for the remaining center backs and the right back there to kind of cover for him. But other than
Yeah.
that, man, I think he did well. He did decent, and like I said, just tracking back and getting that final cross in is what really kind of kept him from giving a great performance today. What do you think of Jogo?
No, I right there with you, man. Again, I don't think he was outstanding, nor the target for a lot of criticism. I think he is a good example of what we saw with a lot of the young players today, where you can tell, that they are definitely getting better at their position and becoming more, I guess, showing better performance as far as holding the ball, passing, and whatnot. But you can tell that they're still on that tiny gap from being, considered a Class C, Class B player into the next stage of what we consider, if it's a Class B player, maybe a Class A. If it's a Class C player, maybe a Class C player, maybe a B plus or B minus player. So I think
Right.
he falls into the right spot. He's only 19 too. But I did see what you were mentioning. He's supposed to be a defender, but he seems to be very eager to attack. So I,
Yep.
I really hope that his time with Real Sociedad, whether if it's with the B team or A team, uh, teaches him how to be more like a well-rounded defender. It's okay if you want to jump in and attack, but if you are a right back, because I think he was a right back, right? Um,
Left back.
Left back. There we go.
Yeah.
You still have a defensive role and responsibility. So let's see if he. I don't know if he's gonna start next game. If he does, then he needs to improve his defensive game for sure.
Yeah, and I like what you pointed out. I hadn't thought of that. That he definitely he's like one of the both the left backs and the right back that we saw in the World Cup for the USA, Sergio Dest and Anthony Robinson. They play like him. They love to go up, and they sometimes got caught, leaving
Hmm.
space in the back. So you know, as much as we like having players that go up, we also we need a player or a left back or right back that stays back. We can't
Hmm.
have all of our guys going up and leaving space in the back.
No,
Eventually there's going to be a
definitely.
match where the U.S. is going to have to adjust and say, "Hey, you can't go up," and we need somebody that's good at defending to stay back.
Hmm.
So another one of these guys that plays like that is it's good and bad, but yeah, he definitely only 19 could develop in a good defender for sure.
Yeah, and the thing is that if it's okay if you want to attack, but you gotta have a stamina, my guy. You have to have the legs to go up and down, and it's difficult, especially if you're like attack minded,
Right.
to settle in that position. So I'm not sure if this is one of the areas where the U.S. lacks players. Um, I don't think they do. But hey, if he improves his game and he shows up to the to the occasion, then we might see a challenge for the current starting 11 player.
For sure. Yeah, it could be a good depth there for sure for the future in that
Hmm.
position. The first thumbs down of the six things we learned is going to go to the U.S. defense, especially that second
Yeah.
half. I think they were decent the first half, except for that mistake that in the wall. But the second half,
Hmm.
it's just like they were giving up possession. They were doing horrible back passes. There was that one. I think Neil had a good first half, and then he just completely played horribly the second half. He
Yeah.
just back passes that shouldn't have been going back, or didn't go with enough power to their intended destination receiver. I think what's his name? Let me see here. Who was it that also made a mistake there? I think it was. Williamson, was that his name? The other
Yeah,
defender that also gave it back. Sorry, we don't know all the names here. There are a lot of new faces on this team.
I know,
Um,
man.
but
Difficult to track.
yeah, but yeah, the defense wasn't as good the second half, and I think they earned a red thumbs down from us. Especially, you can't lose 2-1 and say the defense performed well. So
Yeah,
there's
I agree.
definitely a lot to improve, and I think they'll be tested even more so against Colombia. Colombia, who I understand may have brought more starters than Serbia, since they're itching to play. They didn't go to the World Cup, so if they don't get it together, it could be dangerous, or it could be pretty bad against
Yeah.
Colombia if they play like they played today.
And well, I don't really know if Colombia is going to bring their A game because Serbia clearly didn't. But to
Right.
add to your point, the defense had 12 tackles. Out of those 12 tackles, only 7 interceptions, compared to the 19 that Serbia had. So you can definitely tell that they were not playing at their sharpest level, and they also had 10 clearances compared to the 28 that uh, Serbia did. So yeah, I think this was a poor showing from the defense. Now, I don't know how much this has to do with their, the fact that they don't have that the U.S. don't really have a coach right now. Although, there's always the argument of this guy. I don't even know his name. He was Greg Berhalter, or he is Greg Berhalter's assistant coach. So, they're still playing the same kind of style.
Right.
But I assume this is the reason why you have this kind of cupcake camps, right?
Yeah. And just to clarify, the coach is Anthony Hudson. Yeah, he
Anthony
was the
Hudson. There we go.
assistant coach for Triple G. Um,
Sorry, Anthony.
uh, okay, so the next positive, the next green check mark here we have is I think BrandonVazquez. Yeah, some guy that you're a fan of, that you've kind of mentioned on the show
Hmm.
before, that you really like how he plays for FC Cincinnati, and that you were kind of hoping would go get a chance for Mexico, and you don't know why he hasn't been called up for Mexico, given
I don't. Yeah.
Mexico's attacking woes. But I don't think he had many opportunities, but man, he took the opportunity he had and finished it
Hmm.
beautifully. What a header, man!
Dude, I'm telling you, dude. You shouldn't blink on him. This guy is good. Um, he's on. All honesty, he has only had one good season on MLS with Cincinnati, which was last season. We'll see if he can make it happen on 2023. He plays 63 minutes, 2 shots on target, 1 goal. So decent numbers, honestly.
Yeah,
Not too bad. He I guess had a good accuracy of passes, 80%, 11 out of 14 that he made, and he won. To your point that you were telling me that you looked at him and you think that he's kind of a kind of a tank. He was able to win 4 ground duels and 2 aerial duels. So
yeah,
not too shabby. I
yeah,
mean, the U.S. lacks a number 9, or even Mexico. So look,
yeah, for
Peña
sure.
Fede, please just reach out to him, man. Come on.
Give him a chance. Yeah, man. He's huge. He's tall. He's stocky. He's fat. He's not slow. He's not the fastest guy
Mhm.
on the pitch, but he's pretty fast for his height and weight. And he battles in the air. He reminds me of a combo of like Haji Wright and Pepe. Um,
Yeah.
so let's hope he develops. And man, like you said, the USA and Mexico are both starving for a striker. He could, if he gets a better, if you were to stick him on the USA team, he may have finished a lot of goals, or a lot
Yeah,
more goals than they scored in the World Cup. But he
definitely,
looked,
dude. Better than
yeah,
Ferreira.
yeah, I believe so. Yep.
And there's
All
there's one
right.
thing that I really like about him,
What's
that
up?
he's really good with his feet. So for
Yeah,
for a for a striker, for someone who's big that knows how to header and whatnot, he's good with his feet.
yeah, for sure. That impressed me as well. Okay, so the next negative, the next red thumbs down. We said we kind of crapped on the defense here, but I think the attack as well. That was kind of the only one very, very clear shot, I think. There was a couple that Cade Cal hit the post on,
Mhm.
2 posts within
Yeah.
like 30 seconds. Deserved to go in, unfortunately didn't. There was that, oh man, that one attack in minute 23 3-on-1 where Morris is coming up the center, and he has Zendejas to his left, BrandonVazquez to his right,
Yeah,
or vice versa, and he decides to shoot. It was a good shot. It forced a reflection from the or a deflection from the keeper. But man, you got
yeah,
to
but that
make
wasn't
that.
the exactly
Yeah, those 3-on-1, you got to open that up and
hmm
have one of
hmm
your guys. Yeah, make that. You can't be stingy with the
poor
ball there.
decision. Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a lot of pretty bad minute or crosses. I think Zendejas was pretty bad the first 65
Oh yeah.
minutes, 70 minutes.
hmm
Eventually, they played him more centralized, and that's when the attack looked a little better. But yeah, I don't know. It just overall the attack I don't think did too well. And of course, like we said, defense. When you lose 2-1, your defense obviously didn't do good. When you lose two
Yeah.
one, your attack obviously as well didn't do good. So other than that, BrandonVazquez goal, I didn't really see too much. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. Until maybe until the very last 20 minutes, the
Right.
US was actually pressing a lot. Talking about Sendejas specifically, I follow him throughout the game, and I agree with you. At the very beginning, I noticed that he was struggling a lot, and I don't know what you think, but I feel that this specific style of play does not fit him whatsoever. He's a
Mm-hmm.
very technical guy. He's definitely not, he's not, stocky. He's not, I don't think he has developed that strength, body strength to withstand like tackles or like try to, win some ground battles. And he definitely needs to be that technical guy, like a number 10, if you want. So as they move him closer to the center, as you said, he was able to improve. But it, I don't know, man. I if we all know that historically and traditionally the U.S. tends to prefer physical or athleticism rather than technical gifts,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just afraid that even though he might, he might have a good season with America or have a good cycle, he might still not be a good fit for what the U.S. is trying to make. And then we'll still have to wait for the coach, right? So,
It's
uh,
kind of like give me Gringo Torres vibes. He had really good
yeah,
seasons with Pachuca, with Tigres, a couple before he was benched at Tigres, and he never really he had like 30, 35 caps for the U.S., but he never really cemented his place there. Right? He
hmm
he wasn't physical enough. He wasn't fast enough. He was a number 10 that like distribute balls, like to make the play go through him. And that's kind
yeah,
of what I see Sendejas doing. Like he has to be the number 10, the Pulisic, right, the creator.
yeah,
And when he was on the right wing, he just looked lost out there. So
yeah.
hopefully we're not going to see him against Colombia, but hopefully we see him again either for the U.S., for America, for Mexico, and see him how continue having a good season with America.
He's got to make
Um,
a decision.
yeah. Which we'll have to do a lot with the who the next coach is for either team.
Yeah.
um, so the last note I want to end here of the six things we learned. The sixth item here, it's ended on a positive. I want to highlight with positive green check mark. Cade Cowell, man, I think he was great out there. He was the match MVP for the U.S. in my opinion. He was very lively. He had a couple really good crosses into the box that should have been finished. The one where I don't know if you remember, but it was a corner kick in minute 38 that he kind of finds in the back post that he pushes it
Yeah.
back in, and both Vasquez and Grisel miss. It just goes in front of the goalie very slow, and they both miss. That one he hit the post twice. He was challenging and taking on defenders. He looked very speedy out there. I think, man, he definitely deserves a green check mark, and I think he did really well. And I was really surprised by him. And funny fact, man, he's Mexican American, so he could also be playing
Yeah.
for either Mexico or the U.S.
That's gonna be hilarious. Well, unfortunately, well, if he decides to go to Mexico, unfortunately, we won't have Perro Bermudez to to give him a nickname or even say his name with his
How do you think he
brother
would say
calling
it?
boy. That would be
Give us
funny.
your best
Uh,
Perro Bermudez impersonation.
I don't know if he's gonna say Cade, Cow, or Cow Latino, Cow. Something nasty, something like that, dude. Freaking disgusting. But anyway, he's going back to Kate Cowell. He actually he had two successful dribble attempts, which is great. He had four shots. Unfortunately, all of them off target, but that shows that he was actually active on the front, even though it looked a little flimsy out there. Not him, but the entire attacking game of the U.S. 31
Right.
touches, very active. Three crosses, two on I guess on target, if you want to call it. So he was out there, man, as you said. Again, I he plays for San Jose Earthquake, so I wasn't really hot to see anything from him.
Right.
But I guess we were slipping. We'll see if he plays, at the same level against Colombia.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see him against different opposition, Latin American opposition that tend to play more tactical, more possession based soccer. So we'll see how it
Uh-huh.
goes, man. We'll definitely be doing a six things we learned on that match after the
hmm
Colombia game on Saturday. You wanted to add something?
I mean, nah, not. I mean, not really. I think we pretty much covered everything. Just make sure that subscribe, hit the like button, turn on the notifications. It's always nice to be here. And be on the lookout. I'm gonna be posting some memes out there.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter and Instagram to get those memes for sure. Those memes are always hysterical, man. All right, Adrian. Well, always nice being with you, man. So we'll see you in the next one.
Take it easy, bro.
Take care. See ya.